Hey, welcome back to Juicy Tech. My name is Ariodi Juiced, aka Juice. Welcome back to a new episode or a new video of this YouTube channel, maybe even a podcast, I'll call it. And that's what I want to talk about. So basically, if you have been up to date on everything with this channel, you would realize that we're talking about releasing a podcast a few days before. So the podcast is officially live. I did release it. The first episode is currently up and running. I'll leave a link in the bottom of this video, or you can also check out I'll do that. I'll leave a link to this video so you can find the link to the podcast immediately, and also the actual link of the episode that's on the podcast currently. So this won't be a really long video, but I just want to say a few things before I leave, which is the podcast is going to be, like I said before, it's going to be basically the same topics that we have on this YouTube channel, which is going to be about, me sharing my experience at a coding bootcamp that I went to a couple months ago this year in 2022. I went to a coding bootcamp for about 3 months, something like that, 3 months. And we learned a lot about, basically the fundamentals of coding. So anything from learning about for loops, variables, if else statements, APIs, databases, learning what is a front end, a back end, full stack developer. A lot was being taught to us, and it was fun. It was cool learning about AWS, all these really cool technologies. It was really cool. It was a little tough, the class, because I'm so new to coding. I'm not new anymore, of course, but back then I was like brand new to it, and I'm very much aware of what's going on. And I learned a lot of things being there, and even after I left, I will continue to just teach myself and learn new skills, like Node.js, all these things I'm learning about. It's really cool. But I'll be pretty much speaking about those types of things on this podcast. I'll be sharing my experience of me just pretty much let me just get this phone call real quick. All right, I just got a phone call, I'm so sorry. So I'll be explaining those topics on this podcast, on the podcast. And also I will be discussing things about having soft skills, because that kind of gets left out a lot. People focus a lot on hard skills, which is very important. You want to have your hard skills up, but soft skills are just as important. And to me, soft skills fall in line with having just being able to network, right? Being able to just have people be comfortable around you, and knowing how to hold a conversation, know how to have a welcoming vibe about you, and people really like to be around that. So that's something you really want to learn how to conquer, or just have that kind of skill where people feel comfortable around you, and you know how to just walk up to people and present yourself with respect, and just you seem positive, and you seem like you know what you're talking about. You seem like you want to learn about new things and just make friends. It shouldn't just always be about coding, but just being able to just have people be comfortable and willing to want to talk with you because you seem like you're a cool person to be around, or just someone that it would be nice to have a drink with outside of work. Like people like your presence. That's what you want to just very much focus on, and those are the things I want to present on the podcast, speak about on the podcast, because that's something you really need to focus on. Soft skills, and it goes way beyond coding. It's just everyday life. Having soft skills, social skills is like really important. I cannot express that enough. It's something you should very much practice like there's no tomorrow. Having soft skills, and those are some things that I will talk about on the podcast, because that's going to benefit you as a viewer or listener, and that's why I'm going to share as much as I can soft skills. I do plan on bringing people on the panels, or bring people on the podcast to speak, and maybe they can share their thoughts, advice, tips with you, of course. Maybe they are current software engineers, they're in the field, or maybe they're current students at a boot camp or college, whatever institution they're learning this stuff in. I just plan on maybe someone like you watching or listening to this video. Maybe I may consider bringing you on the podcast and just hear your thoughts and your stories, and kind of just just whatever that you went through can be could benefit the next person listening to this information. And that's what it's all about. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. Pretty much the same topics on this YouTube channel. You know, my experience, my testimonies, and kind of just, not kind of, but bring people on board to, you know, the podcast so they can speak and just share their thoughts, because I don't know everything. I don't want to paint that picture like I'm Mr. Know-It-All. I learn from other people. I love to hear new stories and just learn from others, because they also went through the same, you know, experience or other experiences that I've never gone through. And they can just give you a lot of insights, pros and cons, do's and don'ts. Like, that's what it's all about. And that's what I very much want to present to you as a viewer or listener of the podcast. So this is a great thing. And I just ask for your support by sharing this video with other people who are looking for the same information. Because I really, you know, pray that I can continue to bring value to you as a viewer or listener as much as possible. And I very much believe the podcast is capable of doing what the YouTube channel is doing. We have over 90 people who are subscribed to this channel. It's a lot to me. It's not a lot to other people, but that's a lot of people who are willing to listen to what I'm saying. And I very much appreciate you being here, and I very much acknowledge your presence. And yeah, I just really hope I can continue to bring value to you as much as possible. So the podcast is up and running. Like I said before, it is currently live. I'm going to leave the link of the first episode of the podcast in the description box below of this video, so you can go check out what I am saying. And again, it's not about me. It's about really sharing information with the world and having people consume what we're talking about, and hopefully that can benefit them in their lives some way possible. And that's just what it's all about. I wish I excuse me, I wish I had this much information before I went to boot camp, and that's not something that I regret. But the more information, the better. Like, it doesn't hurt hearing other people's stories and testimonies and learning from them, and just kind of knows what to do and what not to do, what to expect, because we've gone through that fire already, and we can tell you what to do. Like I tell people all the time, before spending a dime at a boot camp or college, I will very much focus on coding myself, learning the skills, just the fundamentals. Or if you can do it, you know, all the way, which means you want to learn everything on your own, go for it. I don't see why not. Why not, right? It may take you longer. It may be a lot of work, challenging, but it may be worth it also. And you're saving a lot of money as well. So, you know, that's something I very much say all the time. Learn it on your own. Learn as much as you can before going to a boot camp. Learn all the 101s about coding. Like I said before, all the fundamental things about coding, strings, variables, if-else statements, you know, let, const, var, like all these things are 101s, and that's something you should learn on your own before going to a boot camp, because it's going to be a lot of information that you're not aware of, and they may very much, you know, it may hurt you, because you may be left behind in the class because you're so new to everything. So learn on your own as much as you can. And yeah, this is the podcast is available. It's here. It's live. I hope you support it. I can't wait to put out more episodes. I'm looking forward to bring people involved to speak on the podcast and just share their thoughts and stories and tips, advice, and everything, so it can just be a benefit to you, the viewer, you watching this. And that's what I plan on doing with the podcast. So there you have it. Much love to you. Thanks for watching this video. Once again, the link of the first episode of the podcast is down below of this video. I'll see you in the podcast. And thank you so much for watching this video. Catch you later on the next video and next episode of the podcast. Peace out.